So a few weeks ago, I did 2 videos about how money flows to you, part 1 and part 2. So check out those videos. And I had no intention of doing a third video, but after having some reflection and mindfulness about this money abundance topic, I wanted to do this third video and really focus this video on the biggest challenge that I've seen in my life and in many people's lives of why they can't receive that money abundance, why they can't draw it into their experience. And so, in those 2 videos, I talked about money as an energy form that has a vibrational frequency. Everything in this universe that manifests into physical form, physical experiences, has an energy with a vibrational frequency behind it. So money is no different. It has these vibrational frequency. And so when we think of money, we think of abundance. And abundance is a higher vibrational frequency. And so what happens is if you're down here and you're vibrating a lower frequency because you're down here, because you're feeling poor, you're vibrating a lack of abundance frequency. So in order to have this money abundance frequency come into your experience, you've got to raise that frequency to match and align to the money abundance. That's what you've got to do. And this is where everybody trips up, including me. I have tripped up on this many times, and I see many people trip up on being able to raise their frequency. And the secret to raising our frequency, to raising that frequency to match that money abundance, is to first feel that internal abundance that we have in here, regardless of what we have in our bank, to feel that internal abundance in here that God has already given us. So in order to raise our vibrational frequency to that of money abundance energetic frequency, we have to play by the laws of the universe, the laws of attraction of these universal forces. And so what the laws of the universe is saying that when we have a thought, let's say we have a thought that we want to be more financially prosperous, that thought is broadcasting out into the universe, and the universe, in its infinite wisdom and power, hears. It hears everything that we think and say, the universe hears. And so then the universe, in its infinite power, is sending you all of these cooperative components for you to be more financially prosperous. Whether maybe you have received a check in the mail from the IRS that you never expected, whether you meet a business partner randomly, what you think is random, at some store, or whether you meet an investor. The universe is constantly sending you all of the cooperative components. So how can we allow and receive those cooperative components from coming into our experience? It's in the feeling. The feeling is the drawing in, is the allowing that cooperative components. It's the feeling. Because the universe can feel, knows energetically what your feelings are, because those feelings have a vibrational frequency. Every thought and every feeling has a vibrational frequency, and you're constantly emitting that frequency 24/7, whether you know it or not. You're constantly broadcasting and emitting the thought frequency and the energetic frequency to the universe. So the universe doesn't read your bank account, it reads the feeling, your vibrational frequency feeling. And so the feeling is like the magnet. The universe is now sending you all of the cooperative components, but you've got to be able to draw it in. So you have to match that feeling frequency to those cooperative components that you're trying to draw in. So you're allowing that cooperative component with your feeling. And so this is where everybody trips up, is that they can't seem to get the feeling to match the financial prosperity that they want. Why? Why can't you raise that vibrational frequency, get that feeling to the financial prosperity that you desire? It's because of this. Let's take, for example, this lady, Pam. She's observing what is. That's what she's doing. She's observing what has already manifested in her life. This is her bank account. She's got $2 in the bank account. And so while the universe doesn't read how much money you have in the bank account, it's reading your feeling. As she observes this $2 in the bank account, she feels poor. Every cell in her body feels poor. And she's broadcasting that poor energetic frequency out into the universe. She is telling the story to herself, look at my bank account. I feel poor. And as she keeps feeling poor, she's not matching her frequency to that of money abundance, right? So she's holding down her financial prosperity. She is keeping it down. She's doing it. Nobody else. It's her. By feeling poor as she continues to observe this $2 in the bank. She's observing what is. But what the universe is really saying is this $2 in the bank is a manifestation of past energy. You felt poor in the past. That's why you have only $2 in the bank. So this physical evidence is just telling you what you've felt in the past. It has nothing to do with your future. Your future can change dramatically. That is something that is so important to understand, that your $2 in the bank could change in the future. It has nothing to do with the future. This manifestation has only to do with your past, that in the past you have felt poor. So the secret here is, how do you raise that frequency? How do you get the feeling of being abundant when you have only $2 in the bank? Well, God has already given you a natural internal abundance of feeling unlimited, of feeling naturally prosperous. There is a natural abundance in you that you could tap into where you feel unconditionally prosperous. And that is the secret to raising that vibrational frequency, is to tap into that internal abundance regardless of what you have in the bank account. Because the universe, like I said before, is not reading your bank account. It's reading the energetic vibrational frequency that you're broadcasting. That's all the universe is reading. So this lady, Pam, she decides to tap into that God-given internal abundance that she already has. She already has it. We each already have that internal abundance. So she's doing mantras, meditations, whatever she is doing, visualizations to make her feel internally abundant. So even though she's got $2 in the bank, she feels like a millionaire. I feel abundant, like a millionaire. And every cell in her body is feeling like a millionaire. And that is what is allowing her now to raise her vibrational frequency to match the money abundance frequency. So the secret here is to tap into that internal abundance that God has already given you, regardless of what amount of money you have in the bank. So that means that you have to feel unconditionally abundant. You have to feel it. You have to feel unconditionally abundant, whether you have $2 in the bank, whether you have $20 in the bank, whether you have $1 million in the bank, whether you have $10 million in the bank, or whether you have $0 in the bank. You have to somehow get to a place where you feel unconditionally abundant. That is the secret, is to tap into that internal natural abundance that God has already given you. And so if you want to find evidence of this, just look at many of the multimillionaires and billionaires that we have around the world. You will find that many of them actually came from very poor families. I remember the CEO of Starbucks saying that he came from a very poor family. Or look at the example of Steve Jobs. You know, Steve Jobs was adopted into a very middle-class family. His parents had no money. And he started his business really in the garage of his parents' home. But everyone reported that even though Steve Jobs had no money, he came from a poor family. He never took a shower. You know, he ran around like a hippy dippy looking very poor. He never felt poor. They always said that he had a level of confidence in him, this vision that he always had. He always had this internal confidence. That internal confidence is a feeling. It's a feeling that he was a visionary, that he could see things around the corner. It was a feeling that he was already abundant. And because even though his parents had so little in their bank account, he had that feeling of confidence. He drew in the cooperative components that he needed to build Apple computers. First was Wozniak. He needed a coder. He drew Wozniak in. That was his first cooperative component in being able to start the Apple computer company, right? So it's really not about, how much money you started with or how much money you have in the bank. It's really about that internal feeling of abundance that you already have. And so I released a guided money abundance meditation last week. I released it for you. It's like 11 to 12 minute guided meditation. Go use that guided meditation to help you to start to feel internally abundant. That's what you want to get. That is the secret to receiving those cooperative components that the universe is already sending to you. The universe has your back. It's sending you that financial prosperity to you. You're just not receiving it. And so the secret here, the big secret here, is to get tapped in and connected to the internal abundance that God has already given you. So make sure you go to the guided meditation to make you feel internally abundant, because that is the secret to start really manifesting more money into your life. So make sure you go to that video. And also, like I said before, I have part 1 and part 2 videos about how to flow money into your experience. So also go to those 2 videos. So there are 3 videos. And if you have a story about using the laws of the universe, feeling that internal abundance, and you saw a significant rise in your financial prosperity, share it with us. And if you like this video, please make sure to share it and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to visit all of my spiritual and holistic living tips, just go to my website at yinandyangliving.com. Thank you. Namaste.